Hey everyone, it's Kevin, back with another video. If you guys watched my video on why do I go to yard sales, this was one of the reasons. I got a drill press here for 20 bucks. I don't think it's been used very much at all, if it's even been used at all. I'm just going to basically clean it up and make some new knobs for it and get it set up on the bench here so we can start using it. So we're going to go ahead and get to tearing some of this apart. I'm not going to go crazy. Like I said, I don't think it's that bad of shape. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started taking it apart and getting it cleaned up. Well, there's not too much that I need to really tear apart on this thing. This piece here, this is what lets your table go up and down and holds the whole head on. This big piece over here. Well, you see how rusted up this is. If you leave this all rusty, moving your table up and down makes it that much harder on this rust. So we're going to take all the rust off of here, clean up our base and our table, and then we're going to get it set back on there. Like I said, there's not too much to this project. And don't forget, if you can't remember how to tear it apart, make sure you take a picture of it or do a little video of it so you know how it goes back together. Like I said, this one here, not much to it. It should be easy for you guys to do if you got one and need to tear it apart. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning on this thing. And our best friend today is going to be WD-40, some sandpaper, and a couple old rags. I don't want to take too much off of this, but I do want to clean this up good. So I'm just going to take some sandpaper, some real fine. Let's see what this is. This is 220 sandpaper. So all we're going to do is take some 220 sandpaper and a little bit of our WD-40, and we're going to clean this shaft up. Alright, as you can see, I got the base all cleaned up, and the main thing I wanted to clean to make sure it works properly is to clean this pipe here. So this goes up and down easy. We don't want that to be stuck up and you're trying to get the table up and down. So this is working really good. We took all the rust off of it. We sanded down a little bit on the table, but yeah, it's not so much making it look pretty. It's all about the way it functions. We want it to work properly. So now all we've got to do is set the top back down on here, and then we're going to start cleaning on the top, making sure everything's working good on there, and then we're going to build them knobs. I think you guys are going to like my knobs. Hang in there. Alright, these are your handles, and these are the knobs I want to replace. And this one here that went on the top, this one here, you can see how it's so brittle, it's just going to fall apart. It won't be long before they just break off. So we're going to replace all these knobs. So I'm going to get each one of these cleaned up, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to replace them with. Alright, the first knob I'm going to replace is this one that was up here on the top. And it's got, I think it's 1/4 threads. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Yeah, it has 1/4 threads in it. So all I needed, instead of going to, well, let's say eBay or Amazon and picking up some knobs, I have all these deer antlers around, so I thought I'd make some knobs out of these little deer antlers. So I just drilled a hole through the one side and threaded it just like as if it was a nut. I run some threads in there, and I figured why not make your own little knobs. They have to be just as good as a store-bought one, I'm sure. I would think so. And we'll have knobs on there, which, hey, I'm kind of personalizing it. You know, it's my machine. I can do what I want with it. So I put the threads in there, and now I'm going to make them for all the handles on the bottom, which went right in here. I'm going to make the same ones, and I'm going to make them out of deer antlers. And you won't be able to mistake this machine. You'll know it's mine because it's got deer antler handles, and it's probably going to be the only one that I know of that has deer antler handles on it. So I'm going to show you how I made the deer antler handle. I wanted to give you a little close-up of the handle itself. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So we're going to work on these handles here and get them all done up. I'll show you guys how I build them. Okay, our first step is getting some deer antler. So this is the deer antler I cut the first piece off of for the top one. So I'm going to use this one to get me another piece. Alright, this is the first piece and it looks like it's probably the smallest, so we're going to try and drill it first. We're going to do it first, that way if this one screws up, we'll know the other ones will probably screw up too. It's actually a pretty decent size. I think it's 3/8 hole. So we're going to try it. We'll see how it works. Oh boy. We're going to tighten that vise down a little bit more. Alright. Now we got us a hole in there. Now we're going to try running some threads down in that thing. You got a little bit of a starter tap here. We're just going to go real easy with this. See if we can run some threads down in there. We'll work that back and forth, get that bone cut out of them threads. Hopefully it's not hurting our little handle. Then once we get the threads in there, we'll take it over to the sander and round it off a little bit and then use the buffer and buff it out a little bit. Let's see what we got here. We'll do it one more time in there. I think that's it. We should have threads down in there. Oh yeah, we got threads. Let's see how our little handle don't look bad. You can see the threads in there. Some nice threads in there. So now, this is the piece we want to put it to. So let's see how it goes in. Not a bit of problem there. I think it could go a little deeper though. Let's look down in there and see how far we got it. Oh yeah, I could put some more threads in there. So now I'm going to use a bottom end tap. I'll use a bottom end tap, that way it'll get a little deeper in there. So that's basically how I'm cutting out the handles. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some of these done. I'll get them all drilled and tapped. And then I'll get you guys back and we'll get them buffed up. What I'm going to do now is take this thing over this belt sander and we're going to round the edges off. We don't want it to be sharp in any way. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I got them sanded, got them all sanded down, rounded all the edges off. Now I'm just going to run them on a plain buffer. Now this is where maybe you guys could give me a hand. I've really never buffed deer antlers before, so I don't know if I'm supposed to use the compound on them or just use the buffing wheel. So I'm just going to be using the buffing wheel, and that's it. So, because I really don't know much about it, but it does clean them up. Alright, we got all the handles on there, and I think that's going to work out fine. They're not sharp or anything, and they're really good and sturdy on there, good and tight. Hopefully they'll stay okay. If I have to, maybe later I can put a little bit of some kind of epoxy or something, maybe if they start coming off or whatever, but I think that's going to work out fine for me. Project's done. The drill press is ready to go. 20 bucks, I couldn't beat it for $20. My little deer antler handles, yes, I could have went to eBay, Amazon, anywhere and picked up them handles probably for next to nothing. But I like my handles and I'm going to keep them there. This thing should last for a long time. I honestly don't think that it's actually been used that much. Just by looking it over, I can't really see any wear on it. The only wear I see is from it being sitting too long. So we did clean it up, got the rust off of it. Wasn't a real big job, but it's definitely going to be a good tool for the garage. Like I said, this is going to save me for having to use the big drill press that's really greasy all the time. So this thing should come in handy for in the garage. I'd like to tell everybody thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment if you'd like. Until next time.